Hi everyone, it's Adam. Got some big news today in the world of technology policy where a major new piece of federal legislation has been floated called the Secure Data Act. Would address data privacy issues, which is a big deal because in the United States we've been trying for about 10 years now to address the fact that the United States lacks a baseline comprehensive privacy law for the handling of data in this country. In the meantime, since the federal government hasn't acted, 20 states in the United States have advanced their own bills. And now we have a conflicting and costly situation developing whereby this patchwork of rules and regulations has become very, very confusing for companies, especially smaller companies, and consumers themselves. So this new federal bill, the Secure Data Act, would actually put together a federal framework that would give consumers certain rights to access their data, potentially delete it, opt out of certain arrangements, and put a variety of different obligations on data handlers. But in return for that, it would create a seamless federal process, a national framework, if you will, that would make sure that these rules are applied in a consistent fashion. This is really important because the United States right now finds itself in a major competition with China and the rest of the world for supremacy in the data-driven economy and the AI world. And we need to have consistent rules for the road if we're going to get this right. Importantly, this is not complete deregulation. It's quite the opposite. It's actually a lot of new regulation coming at the federal level. Usually that's not something I'd take kindly to, but in this case, we have to do something like this to apply consistent consumer protection standards and to make sure we not only not have the patchwork of state laws, especially driven by really overzealous regulatory states like California and others, but also European standards that are increasingly dictating how American companies and consumers do business online. That so-called Brussels effect of European law and the Sacramento effect of California law are really putting the squeeze on American innovators, making things very, very confusing for consumers. So this new Secure Data Act is a way to address this in a balanced fashion. It doesn't have overzealous regulation like we saw in some of the other previous efforts by Congress to address privacy. There's not massive new litigation that's going to come out of this. And we're going to also make sure that we get this done in a more consistent way than what some of the states want to do. But finally, importantly, the new federal law does build on models that some states have already passed in a bipartisan fashion. So that's a good sign. We can basically take the best of what's working in the states, move it up to the federal level, apply it in a consistent fashion, and get this job done. Thanks.